You watched Dune and thought epic visuals, strange worlds, and sand. Lots of sand. But what if I told you there are layers beneath the sandstorms, hidden symbols, subtle performances, and deliberate directorial choices that most people completely missed? Denis Villeneuve's Dune isn't just a sci-fi blockbuster, it's a masterclass in visual storytelling, restraint, and myth-building. Let's look at the things you didn't see but felt. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of my deep film breakdowns. I'm director Ammar Hejazi, and this is where cinema is more than entertainment. It's an experience worth decoding. Let's begin with the cinematography. Handled by Greg Fraser, the same DP behind Rogue One and The Batman. On the surface, Dune is grand and sweeping. Desert planets, colossal spaceships, monumental architecture. But look closer. Fraser doesn't shoot Dune to make it look real, makes it look ancient. Wide shots feel like old paintings. The lighting is soft, diffused, almost sacred. Even during action, the camera rarely shakes or panics. It observes. It makes you feel small, like you're witnessing history unfold. Notice how many scenes use silhouettes and harsh light. That's not just style. It emphasizes the mythic scale of the story. We're not just watching characters, we're watching prophecies unfold in slow motion. The Dune script is deceptively minimalist. For a story packed with politics, betrayal, and prophecy, it says very little, and that's the genius. Villeneuve and co-writers Eric Roth and John Spates trim exposition ruthlessly. We don't get long monologues explaining the Bene Gesserit or spice mining. We get glimpses, whispers, and tension. Why? Because Dune trusts the audience to feel the weight of things unsaid. It creates a sense of mystery and reverence, which is exactly how the characters in the world experience their own myths and legends. Watch how the film lets silence speak louder than dialogue. A raised eyebrow from Lady Jessica. A glance from Stilgar. The moment Paul steps into the desert for the first time. Words aren't needed, because the atmosphere says it all. In a movie so focused on legacy and destiny, the acting had to be subtle but loaded. Let's start with Timothée Chalamet as Paul Atreides. His performance is full of controlled stillness. Paul isn't a traditional hero. He's a boy shaped by forces beyond his understanding. Chalamet plays him with quiet dread. His hesitations, the way he holds his breath before speaking, the tension behind his eyes. He's not embracing power, he's resisting it, and that makes the performance deeper than it first appears. Rebecca Ferguson as Lady Jessica might be the film's emotional core. Notice her shifts between roles. Mother, political tool, religious figure. Her vulnerability comes through even as she recites cold lines. Watch her in scenes where she silently fears Paul's path. It's heart-wrenching without a word spoken. Even Jason Momoa as Duncan Idaho dials it down. His warmth toward Paul is more than charm. It's humanity in a cold world. Villeneuve isn't just making a sci-fi epic. He's crafting a modern myth. And that means he uses direction not to entertain, but to immerse. Where most directors would give you a fast-paced, exposition-heavy space opera, Villeneuve chooses stillness. He lingers. He respects silence. He builds a world slowly, with intention. One example, the Gom Jabbar scene. It's just two characters in a room, but the direction, the silence, the oppressive camera framing, it's one of the most intense scenes in the film. No action, just fear and restraint. Another, the way he introduces the sandworms. He doesn't overshow them. He builds awe through sound, dust, shadows, and terrified glances. It's the Spielberg effect. Suggest, don't reveal. And it works. Villeneuve's real magic is in what he leaves out. We never see giant battles up close. We don't get epic speeches. He resists spectacle to let the scale do the talking. That takes discipline. Here are a few brilliant details that flew under the radar. The voice Paul uses, inspired by ancient throat singing, isn't just a power. It's an echo of control passed down by generations of manipulation. The production design subtly signals colonialism. The clean, oppressive interiors of the Harkonnens contrast sharply with the spiritual, earthy tone of the Fremen. It's not just aesthetics, it's a metaphor. In Paul's visions, not all are prophecies, some are warnings. Villeneuve deliberately shows visions that don't come true, reminding us Paul's path is not fate, it's possibility. The sound design deserves its own breakdown. From the vibrating thump of approaching sandworms to the sacred tones of the Sardaukar chants, every frequency is tuned to unsettle. If you enjoyed this deep dive, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss the next cinematic exploration.